First, I'd like to say, to celebrate in her honor, I am dressed head to toe in Bob Mackie from QVC. Because my mother was the true fashionista as well as the true QVC shopper. You may have heard me, especially my really good friends, say there's not really a good way to die, but there certainly is a good way to live. And one of my favorite books is called Composing a Life. Composing a beautiful life, not by following a straight path or goal, but by being flexible, strong, creative, ebbing and flowing, needing some improvisations, patches like quilts, that when put together as a whole, no matter what age, you see quite a fulfilling life. My mother was the epitome of that composition. Some examples of her patchwork of life stories will live through us, especially through me. As a precocious little girl visiting Italy, she hid in the barn with her pet lamb, making a bunch of burly men repeat after her in English, "Cross on my heart, I hope to die. You will not hurt my lamb." Her passionate report in school on how badly the quote-unquote white folk treated the Native Americans won her a trip to the principal's office because it was too emotional and not that of the white history books of the time. At an early age, she was already a passionate social justice and social reform woman. You know them as Rosieisms, perhaps, on Facebook, where she may have commented on occasion on who she called he who shall not be named. She was an avid watcher of The View and loved all of them, although she thought Huntsman was still the most stupidest woman on the face of this earth. But who am I to judge? Twist of fate, needing to go to work in her teens when her father died, and working at Fay Photo for over 53 years. Then she had the stint of thinking it was funny to be a TWA stewardess with her friend Betty, just because it would be fun. My mother was also a force of nature, and for some reason had a knack of getting into trouble without even trying. Sound familiar? Her rides through the street of Boston on a Vespa with her best friend Mary Fortuna, chasing kids that would call them at that time guineas. They would do that. Dancing with her friends such as Jeanette at all the clubs, including one in the combat zone that they for some reason frequented by the mafia, where Rosie, in Rosie fashion, caught her coat in the first bar stool and proceeded to drag it across the whole bar, knocking every stool down, sounding like Machine Gun, where every man hit the floor thinking that it was a end of their life experience. Honest to God, hope to die, that was the truth. Then there was her cousin Lucy and their shenanigans. Not only did they get kicked out of yoga class, but I don't know how they did it, they also got kicked out of aerobics. We still to this day do not know how. They did do their walks all the way from the seaport to Mike's Pastries, where they thought they were the cat's meow, going from hotel bathroom, thinking that they were sneaking in and looking at the luxurious soaps, etc. Once they got to Mike's, as you know, no Italian waits in line. And you may be familiar with the lines at Mike's. And to this day, and my friends know me, they never wait in line. She taught me well on how to get from point A to point B, staring into space, weaving through until she got to the counter in 4 minutes, passing every single person. I've done this on occasions and my friends were in horror, but I think I clocked 4 minutes and 22 seconds. Filene's knew no better shopper. Where one was told, Angela and I was told to stand there while she went diving into the bins, and you could hear clickety-clack, clickety-clack when she would come, throw clothes on top of us, and then go back into, as she said, battle. Again, if you have stock in QVC, I would sell now. She had a love for travel, and meeting people was easy for her wherever she went. When we were in the UK and I was at a conference, she sat down at the restaurant thinking that it was a buffet. She took a bunch of food, sat there, and indignantly the waiter came over and said it was a private party. She's like, well, I don't know. So instead of getting kicked out, the people from Wales invited her and she partied with them the entire time. I had no idea where she was during the entire convention. During Italy, when I was in Reggio Emilia, my colleagues and I went to visit a castle. We were up the hill. 10 minutes later, I find her down in the hill with 2 bottles of wine, a strange man, and a plate of gnocchis. With his wife looking out the window in total disgust. And if there was ever a day my mother would have died, it would have been that one, looking at that woman's eyes. But again, so easy for her to make friends wherever she went. She was also a dedicated family woman. My grandmother lived with us till she passed. She was not going to leave Nornie by herself, losing her husband at such a young age, and speaking little English. Like many women, strong, she worked and took care of the family and home with 2 children, a husband, and lots of dogs. A dedicated backstage mother at Boston Ballet, and I'm not saying backstage mother, but you know what I mean, where she would sneak through the dungeons of the Wang, which used to be called the music hall, to watch every performance, her and her other buddies and partners in crime. And she would attend all the hockey games, as you boys well know, and cheer them on. She became quite the hockey mom, and you know what a hockey mom is. So there are so many and too many stories to tell because she had so many. She said, I should write a book, or maybe I should write a book about her. But finally, Rosie composed a truly extraordinary life. She was a loving woman, and all of you, I'm sure, have your own special stories about her to hold in your heart. My story is that she, and always will be, not only my mother, but my best friend. And those who know me know that I am, and always will be, my mother's daughter. Have no doubt I will carry on the best I can her legacy, her zest for life, and her Rosieisms till my composition in life is complete. Thank you.